So I'm live at Skinner today. Follow them.
Brenna, I didn't know you were coming. Come on in. How you doing?
I'm not very good at this. But Lauren is. This is Lauren.
Hey guys, what's up?
So she's gonna give us like a tour of her team room here at Skinner.
Absolutely. So we can start over here. We have a lot of decorations that we put up from last year. So these were made by the core members at Skinner in our first year partnership. But they have all the organizational values up here. You guys will get to know those as the year goes on. We have a sign up here. It's not quite accurate, but we made it for
spring break.
Yeah, well.
Is it still for?
No.
Oh, you just, okay.
It was for our teacher appreciation event, and it was right before winter break, but we just never changed it or took it down or anything. This is one of our decorations for our spotlight events. So we change out the spotlights every time we do the event. I think this was our third time doing it. And each core member picks someone that they want to celebrate the behavioral growth of. And we bring in pizza and ice cream, and we put on a movie, we put coloring materials out.
So Spotlight's different than like See by Heroes?
Yes.
It's not family?
Yes.
Okay.
So the families aren't here, but at the end of the year, we have an event that's a little bit bigger celebration of behavioral growth throughout the year. And we invite families, it's a little more formal, and it's a special way to celebrate students. But yeah, this is one of our decorations, and then we also hang some stars up from the ceiling. Sometimes we put out a red carpet. We're very into the Hollywood theme. And over here, we have our kind of task board.
And the bees are the Skinner ones, right?
Yes, so this...
I don't know their values or...
Yeah, these are like our school-specific values. And yeah, we call them the 5 Bs, and hence the B. And then over here we have our attendance and behavior trackers. It shows the calls we make to parents throughout the week. And right below that, we have our observation tracker. Our impact manager, Tony, or our senior core member, Riley, will come throughout the day to observe us, and they'll like write their initials right there or something.
Oh, okay.
So they know we should come talk to them and get some feedback. So yeah. And then moving over here, we have some PITWs that we put up. Some of, there you go. Some of last year's favorites. We loved how they were decorated.
Hey, I think those look familiar.
Oh yeah. And then up here, another appreciation banner from one of our teacher appreciation events. Moving along. This is one of my favorite decorations we have, also because I made it. But it kind of breaks down the city year logo, and I learned a lot throughout the process about what like each little thing stood for.
Yeah, I know all the office too. So.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's by the kitchen.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to look at that. But so yeah, we have that, and then our trusty microwave.
Oh, and you do have a coffee maker. I
We
thought
do
about
have a
bringing
coffee
a
maker.
bag of coffee, but I wasn't sure and thought that would be disappointing. So if you didn't have a coffee maker.
No, we do, but it's okay. No harm done. Our little community snack shack up here. It's a little bare, but we got some hot chocolate going on in there. And
A lot of updates on the attendance tracker.
yeah, it's a little bare right now, but we have it all set up. And we also have our tree over there, which I haven't changed yet, but it's supposed to emphasize growth mindset. And we were changing it with every season, so I need to add some flowers to it. And then moving right along, we have our team norms that the whole team established at the beginning of the year. And some beautiful artwork from our students right down here from our spotlight events. And this is another decoration from our spotlight event, every student who's invited writes why they're a star. And some of them wrote silly responses, but some of them, I look at them and I get a little emotional. And then some of this is covered up, but more data tracking, posters, and this was also made by last year's core, our long-term impact goals. And then we have our little mail appreciation station, and we can put like note cards or stuff into each person's folder, and then when they have like a new piece of appreciation, you just put their little thing up,
like
so
the
they know.
mailbox.
With a little mailbox. Yeah. We have our calendar here, and down below, each person has their own little cubby with.
This one's yours.
Yep, that one's mine. I have some drawings from students, and each person wrote an I serve statement. It's kind of nice to see when we're putting our stuff away in the morning.
Did your kids draw these pictures?
Yeah, I did. And then up here, one of our teachers is actually so nice today. It's one of Kyle's partner teachers, Miss Law.
She's amazing.
She is so
Yeah,
legit. She brought us bagels and coffee for Core Appreciation Month, which is the month of March. And then we have PITW number 98, and Kyle decorated also this beautiful bulletin board with giant sun.
Very CY colors.
Isn't it gorgeous?
With our new branding, especially.
Oh,
The
for
light
real?
blue. Oh, no, just, well, it's new to me.
Oh.
It's not new to you.
That's real. And then over here we have just some games that were actually donated to us for ELT or city or office hours for enrichment stuff. So
Cool.
I'm gonna use those soon. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. So where did you want to sit?
Oh, just right over here is good.
Alright. So before I ask you those questions, can you just tell us like what grade you serve, like what classroom you're in, kind of content area, and then just like a general overview of your schedule? It doesn't have to be minute by minute, but like what does your day look like?
Totally. So my schedule's changed a little bit throughout the year from first semester to second, but overall I serve in 6th grade language arts. First semester I also was in a science class as well, so I would have we have homeroom in the morning. It's called Learning Family here at Skinner, and then I would go to a language arts class. Then I would have one planning period off, and then I would also be in a reading intervention class right after that, but with the same language arts teacher.
Yeah.
And then I would have another planning period, and then the 6th grade team, which includes Kyle and Steph over there, we would help out with...
I missed the moment, sorry.
Okay. We will help out with lunch engagement and recess, and then for 6th and 7th period, I would be back in the language arts classroom, and for 8th period, I would be in a science class. The only thing that's changed this semester is that I'm not in a science class anymore, just language arts at the end of the day. So, yeah.
And what time does your team first and final circle?
So we first circle at 6:55, and I believe we final circle typically at 5 o'clock, which our after school office hours end at 4:30, and then we usually are around until 5
clean up
o'clock.
and then circle when you're done.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Cool. All right, thanks. So
Yeah.
then the first question is what makes your school like unique or special? I know there's a bunch, so you can decide what to focus on.
Totally. Well, it was funny. I was just like reviewing these questions with Steph and Kyle, and Steph was like, "Our kids," and I was like, oh, "I can be like a proud mom and be like, our kids are so special." But truly, they're awesome. But like, you know, logistically, what makes our school quite unique is that we're part of, I think, the only full feeder pattern of schools at City Year. We have an elementary school that core members serve at called Tre Vista, that those kids come to Skinner, and they are aware of City Year coming into Skinner because they've had core members help them out. And then we also feed into North High School, which I think you did one of these with Olivia,
I
right?
met a Skinner kid at North like last week or whatever.
Oh, right, yes, I remember seeing that. That was so cool. So yeah, we feed into North High School, and there'll be City Years waiting for those students there. So that was pretty cool. And we also are part of, so we're in our second year partnership. We were a new school last year, and our impact manager, Tony, was also the impact manager last year. However, this year we're part of a teamlet, and so what that essentially means is, we have like a sister school, which is Lake Middle School, and Tony's also the impact manager of that school. And we also share an executive principal, Michelle Koyama, who led the turnaround effort at Skinner Middle School and is now using the model of Skinner to lead the turnaround effort at Lake. So we have a kind of unique partnership in that way.
And just this school has like the pool, right?
Oh yeah,
and, like,
we
the
do have a
wood
pool.
shop, and
oh my
there's
God,
just like extracurricular. I mean, you don't have to talk about all of them. I just
no,
feel
it's
like
totally
Skinner's constantly
true.
being highlighted for all of that, which is definitely unique.
Yeah, we have amazing Core Plus classes. We also just had Skinner Cares Day, which I don't know if every school around here does that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like an anti-bullying, empathy catalyzing effort to just focus on the behavioral and emotional health of students that day. And we have these assemblies called If You Really Knew Me, and students from all grades and even staff members get on the stage in our auditorium and read statements that reveal things about them that people wouldn't know just by looking at them. So it's a really powerful day, and our students love it.
That is cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. So I'm going to ask you one that wasn't on the list, just because you all brought up the kids, but because I love middle schoolers, and so I always want people to like not be afraid to work in a middle school. So since you do love your kids and they're awesome, what would you tell somebody who isn't sure about middle school? Like, what has just the middle school experience been like?
Absolutely.
And if you want to jump in, you can, but you don't have to.
Yeah, for real. I would say that I can't speak for all of middle school because I'm mostly in sixth grade, but what I love about middle school specifically is that kids are kind of exploring their interests, and I feel like adults have a really powerful role in like confirming and like validating those interests or being dismissive about them. And I love being able to be a part of like saying like, that weird thing you're into is super cool, like keep going with that. Right?
Yeah.
And like they're also just so funny. Like they're really growing into themselves, and I know like an aspect of that is hormones, but like another aspect of that is just a total like social growth that is really funny to witness and like be a part of. And while they're still small, you can still talk to them like and have a little bit more, not adult conversations, but real conversations. And it's just funny, the whole like mixture of all of that makes them into like really unique, weird humans that are fun to be around.
Yeah, they're still such a mix. That's, anything to add?
I don't think I could say anything better.
Okay.
Yeah, she's great and very eloquent, so, but I agree with everything that she said. The kids are just, they're funny, I don't know, and I just love talking about like random things with them, and yeah, they're still
Yeah,
not,
they're young enough to share all of that crazy stuff, but like old enough to have those conversations.
Oh yeah, I feel like sixth grade is a great like in between, where they still kind of have that not necessarily innocence, but like they're not super self-conscious, and they still have those like things that they really care about, like drawing. I have a lot of kids that love
Yeah.
drawing.
Some kids say they love math,
Yeah.
which I was like,
Oh yeah. They're still
I
really
think we've
openly
just done a better job
passionate.
of teaching it the last decade or so.
Yeah.
too, but
But yeah, I don't know. They're funny. That's
They're-
how I like to sum it
hilarious.
up. They're
funny
funny.
and weird. and
so. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so the next one is like, what challenges have you had to work through this year, and like how did you resolve those, or how are you like currently working on resolving that?
Totally. I guess I would say, I mean, the first thing that popped into mind when I saw that question was, as a team, it's really been a journey trying to build the scaffolding for what our office hours were going to look like.
And that's what you call your after school, right?
Well, so we call it ELT when we're not
Okay.
around the kids, but because teachers have office hours, we call it that to them so they understand what it's all
Okay.
about. And at the beginning of the year, our ELT coordinators, Josh and Madeline, who aren't here right now, they did a really amazing job of marketing ELT to the whole school. And at our first, it wasn't parent-teacher conferences, but what was the thing where the parents came to the
Yeah.
school?
Student conferences.
Student-led.
Was it
student-led
Student-led
Student-led.
parent-teacher conference.
They were handing out forms to parents, and so initially at the beginning of the year, we had tons of kids coming to office hours, and we didn't really have the capacity or the behavioral management or expectations to handle all of that. We hadn't ironed out what our enrichment would look like, so it was a little chaotic, and we ended up having in the morning during Mondays, during learning family period, meetings with the whole team to troubleshoot what was going on, new tactics to try out, and slowly but surely things have gotten a ton better. We now have a half hour just dedicated to enrichment, where we'll either take the kids outside to play sports, or we can play cards with them, or any other kinds of activities to like honor the hard work that they put in for the first hour of office hours. And then we also have like this sticker reward system now that we're giving them like hot Cheetos and Takis and whatever they want for putting in at least 10 dedicated efforts of hard work. So yeah, it's been good.
Cool. And then I kind of asked you this about the kids, but like, what's been your favorite memory so far this year, either like here at school or in class or with your team? Just what's been your most memorable experience?
Well, I feel really lucky because I feel like, I mean, everyone's going to say this, but I feel like I have a great team, love everyone on the team. One of my favorite recent experiences was going to a voice competition they have at Skinner called Skinner Voice. And it was so cute to see the kids get up on stage and sing and like be so engrossed in a medium that we're not used to seeing them in, be it like language arts or math. And we were all like sitting in the back and cheering for the kids, and when they would come off stage, they would come by and high-five us, and it was just a really cute, fun experience.
That is cool. Is it like, were there teacher judges or something?
There
or
were
was
teacher
it...
judges, which I didn't necessarily agree with. I think everyone should have just gotten a
Well,
prize.
I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be like the TV show or if it was just a talent show or...
It was like a little bit of both, I would say, but there was like a first, second, and third prize. But I was like,
Oh, okay.
they're all winners.
Yeah, are you the mom of your team?
The mom?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We
about
had a team
that.
mom that like took care of everybody, and
Oh.
you're very like...
I think Lauren is at least the team aunt.
That's
Oh, okay.
Very cool. Always make sure we're at home on time.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
our
I was
best.
wondering. Just from...
But you know, she's also like, oh, let's go out and get some coffee or kombucha.
Okay.
Kyle, you keep me young.
It's just, yeah, with the like all of them were great. It's, yeah. I can tell you love them all. Yeah, and you moved here. Do you want to tell them where kind of like your journey, just like where you're from, where you went to school,
Sure.
then moving here, and what that transition was like?
Kyle's laughing because I did my life's work recently, and it's quite a journey. But
You're asking the right person.
I'll give definitely the abridged version, but I'm originally from Rockville, Maryland, right outside of DC. I went to school at Muhlenberg College in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is like a small liberal arts school, and I studied theater and public health there. And after I graduated, I moved to New York, and I did a little bit of freelancing with directing, and I also worked for some nonprofit, arts-based nonprofits, and I helped run a simulation center at a hospital in New York City. Decided I hated New York, moved back home, thought I wanted to go back to school for art therapy, and so I took classes in that and realized I had a year in between where I would go back to graduate school, and when I was finished with my classes, so I decided to do a year of service because I heard about City Year's amazing university partnerships, and I did City Year, and I actually helped a social worker at Skinner lead a mindfulness class, and realized that I wanted to do social work. So yesterday, I just committed to University of Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool.
Yay!
Oh,
So yeah.
Good, congrats. I just when I tried to zoom to them, it
No,
froze,
no,
but
it's okay.
You're
no,
okay.
it's okay. Great, yeah. So like what, I guess moving here, what was that like? You drove a really long way. Do you have any
Oh,
tips
yeah.
for moving, or just like anything that surprised you about Denver or didn't surprise you about Denver?
Sure. Well, my biggest tip is don't try and drive from the East Coast out here in 3 days. I did that, and it was exhausting, but fun. I did it with my dad. Definitely also look for housing early. Woo! I'll own it. I'll be honest. My roommates and I got scammed on Craigslist.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's okay. We're over it now. But be really careful about the listings you're looking at. Make sure that someone can see the inside of wherever you're living before you put a deposit down, for real. And in terms of the city itself, I wasn't anticipating Denver to be as accessible, I think, as it is. Like, coming from a city like New York, I was like,
I'm like floored to hear you say that.
yeah, it's true.
Great news, although I'm not sure I would.
I mean, I think like in terms of the way the city's laid out with like streets,
Okay.
it's a little confusing, and it takes a little bit of time to get the layout of it. But I was expecting like big skyscrapers and a lot of like
in that sense compared to New York.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and a lot to be more congested, but it really just kind of felt like a collection of different neighborhoods, not necessarily like suburban neighborhoods, but like just different areas, and that was
That
kind of
makes
cool.
sense.
So
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Anything else that you want to highlight? You think people should know about, or?
I guess one thing that I had in my notes.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it's totally okay. Is that really, really identify what kind of self-care routine works for you coming into this experience. City Year is going to really emphasize that that's important. However, it's all on you to make it happen. So I didn't realize that and like actually internalize that until halfway through the year, and it's really changed my service here. So I do yoga, I go on walks, I do puzzles. I sound like an old woman, but but really it just like really resets your outlook and reignites that flame of idealism for your kids. So yeah, enough
Cool.
campiness.
Thank you, Lauren, and
Yeah.
thanks Kyle and Steph for hanging out with us. Bye.
Bye.